Graybeard Gaming. Welcome, everybody, to Graybeard Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Scott, and I have with me David and Liam. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of Space Marine 2, Concord, and some Blue Myth. It's not Blue Myth. I don't know why I call it that. Black Myth, Wukong, not going to Xbox, and probably some other rumors and nonsense. So let's go ahead and let's start with Liam. What have you been playing this week? I'm guessing that it's probably Diablo.
I did start Space Marines because we played a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
So I did play a little bit of that. That is really hectic, and people will want to play other things as well. So I've had to swap between games. I've been playing the COD beta again, First Ascendant, a bit of Diablo, Quidditch, and there's loads of games right now. And I still need to play Asian Mythology, and so it's going to be a bit of a hectic couple of months now because this is when all the games come out.
Yeah, September. It has started. So, and I have a question about Quidditch. Now, this is like a $30. It's just Quidditch, right? It's just
yeah.
It's not like a live service game or anything. It's just something you can play with your friends.
Yeah, because they haven't done a live service to it. It might be later on, but they have a battle pass thing, but it's just earnable credits. There's no microtransactions, no buy anything. You just play and earn. So as it stands now, you just level up and you get extra stuff with it.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Is it fun?
Yeah, it's fun enough. The servers broke the first day, so when it launched, no one would play it. And then the servers wiped my progress on single player, so I'm a bit salty about that. But the actual game is quite fun. I can see why it's cheap. But yes, it is fun to do though. If you play the PS2 game, Quidditch is very similar to that, but obviously more gameplay mechanics since then.
Yeah, I don't think when Rowling wrote Harry Potter, she had that in mind for a video game. It's really just like a plot pusher. It's just it's just made up. It's made up so that Harry Potter can win. But yeah, if they can make it something out of it and playable.
It is good though because the actual Quidditch game in Harry Potter makes no sense whatsoever.
Right.
Right. So they actually have tuned it to where you don't just win a game if you get a snitch.
Oh well, yeah, that's good.
In the actual game of Quidditch was 150 points, I believe it was, and you basically won every time you got it. Now it's 30 points with the best of 100. So people still got a score and save and the other things. You can get the bludgers and just beat people with them.
Nice.
You just knock them off. So yeah, it is quite fun actually. Yeah. So cool. I don't know how well it's going to do longevity wise. I don't know if this is going to be a fun game like live service would be, but it's fun enough and it's cheap.
Yeah.
So, I like it.
That's two of my check marks. Fun and cheap. Well, that's cool. Okay, so David, I think you played some. There was an update for No Man's Sky, right?
Yeah. So I didn't get a chance to play it as much as I would have liked to.
But it's can I give it away?
Yeah, sure.
It's fishing, right?
It's fishing.
Yeah. So now you can fish in No Man's Sky.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, the thing that I mentioned about talking about before was basically No Man's Sky came out with Worlds Part 1. And I think everybody was expecting for Worlds Part 2, and then he came out with this, and people were like, "What is this?" And it turns out that there was some fan art that was posted online that Sean Murray was in love with, and basically this update is just completely centered around that fan art.
Really?
So, and the fan art is basically a ship that's kind of hovering over the water. And the character you play in No Man's Sky is called a Traveler, and there's a Traveler sitting on top of his ship, and just he has a fishing rod out, and it was posted on it was posted on Reddit, and the title was I believe it was like I'm a simple man with a simple dream, and I guess Sean Murray was taken aback by it and said we got to do this, and so they made a whole update, Aquarius update, completely skipped Worlds Part Two, and we're like we're gonna come out with this. And they came out with it, and people are just like going crazy over it. Like I don't I you know I'm a part of a lot of No Man's Sky forums, and everybody's just talking about it. They love it, and it's great, and it's adding. They added a lot more stuff in the water, particularly. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I think it's like a really wholesome, you know, thing to hear. You know, a developer seeing something a fan created and saying, "I want to add this to the game." You know.
Yeah,
So
I mean, isn't that what we'd want? I mean, that's that's all we ask for from, these games. It's just like, hey, can we get this? You know, and
Yeah.
and they're like,
hey,
you don't
this will
want
be
that.
cool.
You think you want that? You don't want that. Can we get World of Warcraft Classic? No, you don't want that. You think you do, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
very simple, and it's hearing things like that makes me more excited about their next game, which I can never remember the name, but something Fire. What is it called?
Light No Fire.
Light No Fire. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember
He
because
really
it
likes
doesn't
to
sound
add
like
the
anything.
word no. Yeah, he really likes to add the word no in his titles. Light No Fire.
Yeah.
No
Right,
Man's
no.
Sky.
Yeah, no microtransactions. That'll be the third name.
No, my.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, I also love hearing stories like that. I think that is great from a from a player perspective. That when they say they're listening, it's not just
Yeah.
corpo speak.
Right.
It's like wow.
Yeah.
I love to hear that too. Now I know you played Space Marines because I was there. And we'll get into that in just a second because I think we're all going to kind of jump in on our impressions of Space Marine. But I stopped playing Star Wars Outlaws, so I'm done. Last week I kind of gave my impressions of about a 3 hour. So I played another couple of hours on the same planet, and it's basically all about getting money and getting your ship, so you can go to other planets. I really was not even interested in going to other planets. This didn't hold my interest enough. This game is, I think that AAA gaming has gotten to a point where they're trying to make everything accessible and the game open enough for anybody to play it, that it kind of loses itself in the fact that it needs to be fun. Like I went into an Imperial base, and there's about 15 stormtroopers, right? 15. It's not a big area. It's kind of a small area. One of them sees me and knock him out because I can punch, I can punch stormtroopers out. Bam. And then got the other guy and punched him. And then there was another guard that was not in a sergeant or whatever. I don't know. And they were going to shoot me.
So you're going in there stealth. You're doing stealth.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was sneaking around because I didn't want to alert the whole base. So this officer, pulls out their gun and is going to shoot me. So I didn't have any choice. So I pull out my my Battlestar Galactica spaceship sound effect gun and pew pew and shoot him. Right. So I'm thinking I've just alerted the entire base because they're all standing right there. It's like the size of a gymnasium. Okay. I look over. Nobody saw anything. Nobody heard anything. They're just going about their business. And I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, okay. So then I sneak around, and then I get to a certain point, and one stormtrooper sees me, and I attack him. And when I attack him, then the entire base is now alerted. I wasn't even in sight of anybody else. I'm like, this game is not. They don't understand stealth, or it's broken, or I'm just done. And I feel like I'm getting a little. I'm going to say this, and it's not my own personal political views. And when I say these things, I'm speaking from a marketing and business point of view of these developers and these game makers. The main character is female. She's gay. I've played this character, I feel like 100 times. she's Aloy. She's Ellie. She's the main character from Flintlock. It's the same character over and over and over again. It's just cliche and it's boring. It's just I'm tired of it. I'm tired of playing the same character. Even if this was a male character that, you know, I played in every single game, I would be tired of that as well. It's not because she's female. It's not because she's gay. It's because she's the same character in every game. It's just boring. I mean, why?
Yeah.
Also, I found this out, and I think this is funny. I think this is where Disney is right now. And I think it's silly. And I think it shows that they really don't understand Star Wars. Like, they really don't. Like, I don't think the people that made this game really understand Star Wars. But this is going to sound stupid at first. It's going to sound super nerdy, but just hear me out for a second. I'm not spending a lot of time with this. But in that base, I knocked out a stormtrooper, and it was a female. It was a female stormtrooper. Okay, so if you're like me and you know all about the OG Star Wars, at that time there were no female stormtroopers. There weren't. There were no females in command. There were no female officers. There were no people of color in charge of anything or stormtroopers. There was no aliens in the Empire. The Emperor did not hire aliens, okay? He was not an equal opportunity employer, all right? George Lucas purposefully wrote these characters as white, a lot of times British characters, because he wanted to give the Empire impression of a totalitarian presence in the galaxy. Like space Nazis. They were basically space Nazis, right? That was the whole thing. In my 5-year-old self, going to the movie theater and seeing Star Wars, picked that up. Everybody picked it up. It's like, oh, these guys are bad. They're obviously bad. Look, that guy's got an English accent. He's obviously bad. Sorry, Liam.
Oi.
But you see, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
And then here comes Darth Vader, and he's like, well, shit, he's obviously bad. You know, he's wearing a cape. So it's very simplistic mannerisms of the Empire in every single scene that let you know that they're bad. Now, in games, in TV shows now, I've seen Disney interject a lot of female, people of color, aliens into this empire, right? And you know, as far as a TV show and everything, it doesn't really matter. Nobody really cares and everything. But they missed such an opportunity, because by doing that, they're making the Empire look better. They're making the Empire look more like the good guys than the Rebel Alliance. If you look over at the Rebel Alliance, you got aliens, you got people of color, you got kids, you got adults, you got a strong female lead, you got you know, I mean, anything you want, it's all there. Everything they make games, it's all there in the Rebel Alliance. All those main characters they're there. Just take your pick. And then the Empire's over here, and they're just Nazis. But they never point that out. They never use that in their narrative. You know, and it's it's so stupid of them not to do that, because it's there. It was always there, and they totally miss it. And to me, that makes me think that they don't even understand it. There were no female stormtroopers. Why? Because the Emperor doesn't like women. I don't know. He's evil. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like, they just miss it. And everything about this game, to me, is like that. They just miss it. The sound effects, the ships, everything is just off. Everything is off enough for me to just go, I can't put any more time into this game. So, you know, it's
throw in the towel.
I threw in the towel. Yeah, it's just not Star Wars. And I try to play it as not a Star Wars game.
Thing, though?
Yeah,
is that like a Disney thing for stay? Because like they do a lot of their IP, their films, their movies, animations, all sorts of things they own, and they're sort of like trying to make the villains good guys. I noticed that in a lot of movies.
Yeah, like the
villain, sympathizing with the villain, and
like Maleficent,
and it's a lot of that Disney do. I don't know why, because as you said, it's so simple just to have that plot.
It is.
And
it is. It's like good and evil doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, but no one wanted like a deeper thing than that. It was quite, easy to get around, and now it's like they're blurring the lines when it's like, no, they're evil people.
Well, Well,
that's it.
it's not just Disney. I mean, even Lord of the Rings, the TV show is giving a perspective from the orcs. Like the orcs are like, oh, we're just misunderstood, species, and we're just out here trying to, just the white men are killing us, and in the books they were, they have like small children and stuff. I'm pretty sure in the book that they weren't born; they're like created by evil. They're pure evil. That was the point of the orcs. They were just evil. They didn't have a reason to be evil because they were evil incarnate. And by giving them some kind of humanity, then it makes anybody that fights them look evil. So you're right. It's like they're trying to blur the lines between good and evil. And I don't understand that, because that, at its core of storytelling, since the beginning that people could write on a wall, has been just it's just the core narrative, literature, good versus evil. I mean, that's what, I don't know. I don't know why they're trying to erase that or get rid of that, because I think it's just confusing and boring. So,
Well, I think
know.
that we also have to like look at like the context of like when Star Wars was created. Like you look at like Indiana Jones, for example, like was done around that time. Like they're fighting Nazi. Like he's straight up fighting Nazis.
Right.
And then yeah, I mean like there was a lot of that happening like in that era. That you had the whole Cold War thing going on. You had
Mm-hmm.
anytime America like it had anything to do with like film or anything like that, it was always like the Russians are bad.
Yeah.
We escaped colonialism from the British. Oh, the British are bad. Oh, look at the Nazis are bad. Germans are bad. So it's like we picked who we disliked and we just put it in the movies. And then when we try to take something from that era and we rebrand it and we say, oh, we're gonna redo Star Wars now, all of a sudden we want to interject our
Yeah.
ideas
The
now
popular
in now
things.
time.
Yeah.
Right, now time. So it's like, oh, well, you know what you mean. The Empire's an equal opportunity employer. And it's like, not back then they weren't.
Right.
Like what? Like, they were like rejecting resumes constantly. Like, what are you talking about? So like,
Denied.
Yeah.
Right.
What would my reaction be if I went, oh yeah, Hitler wasn't that bad. Let's make that story up. Hitler, he was misunderstood and all the Jews hated him. That's all that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. He just wanted to paint. Right.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah. I mean, we can. That's a different story. I like actual history. So you start changing that, and
Yeah.
that goes above our pay grade here on the Gray Bear Game Podcast. But as far as like game and media, yeah. Now go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say like I think that like, and this is the part that I think that they don't seem to get, and that is that like they see people who like Star Wars and they say, "Oh, these people like Darth Vader. They think he's cool," you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they feel like that they can sort of like jazz up that side, that that evil villainous side. When really all it really happened was George Lucas created like a really great villain.
Yeah.
Like the whole story arc revolves around this, that
Yeah.
villain.
Exactly. That was the whole
know?
point. You think it's Luke, but it's not. Yeah.
Right. So you see people going into like Disneyland or whatever, or Disney World, and they go to the Star Wars area or whatever, and these little kids are dressed as Darth Vader, so they're like, oh, we have to capitalize on this thing that like people love. So like let's make him good in a way. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you're ruining the story now. Now you're just making shit up.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. They're changing everything. In the early years of LucasArts, who made some of the best, just objectively some of the best video games we've ever had, they were extremely stringent in their like when they made games. George Lucas had to come in and personally approve it. Like he would come in and go, okay, yeah, that's whoa. That TIE fighter wing is way too big. You need to shrink that down a little bit. Like, oh, got it. Thanks, George. I mean, it was, so he set forth like guidelines. Like he put people in charge of like, okay, can a Jedi do this? Hang on. No. Okay, thanks. I mean, that was it. I mean, it was just like they had, it had to be part of canon.
Yeah.
And then with the books and everything, he was a little bit more loose. It's kind of like he just kind of let them do whatever. But as far as like video games and everything, it had to be, you had to use these sound effects. You had to do, these certain things. With Disney, I think it's more of just, they don't really care about that anymore. They don't really care of the continuity of the franchise. It's more of just they want to sell this as on, this is for everybody now, which it was always for everybody. Man, if you ever went to a Star Wars movie and waited in line for tickets, you're going to see the most fucking diverse group of people you have ever seen in your life. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I have done it many times. And these people that are probably playing this game have never even stood in line for a movie at all. But, I mean, it is amazing. And everybody is super nice. And there's no fights. There's no anything. Everybody's like, just there. Just collectively, just excited, about another shitty Star Wars movie, So they don't get it. They've just, and I see other franchises being treated the same way, and gaming in general. And again, I'm saying this from a point of view of sales for this game are low. Nobody's buying this game. It doesn't look good to anybody. Even Star Wars fans are like, it's Star Wars, so I'm going to buy it, which I think is stupid. Don't do that. But,
well,
and we're going to talk about another game that kind of went that route and tanked miserably a little bit later. And I just don't understand why they're doing that. I don't understand why that they're, you have a female character that is gay. Most people don't care. That's fine. But why do you keep putting that same character in every game? Like, what is that benefiting the game by doing that? Like now, if there's any game that it has a female character, I'm just going to assume that they're gay or binary or whatever, because we're not going to see any games with a strong female character that likes men. That's just not going to happen anymore, and sales are going to continue to plummet. So, but again.
Not just sales, but stocks too.
Stocks. Ubisoft stock is as low as it has been in a very long time, because they banked on this really hard. They spent a ton of money on marketing, and it didn't go well for them. So, but yeah, use Star Wars, sound effects maybe next time, and not some from Battlestar Galactica. I don't know how hard that is. See, if LucasArts was still, they would be on the phone. Excuse me, why did you use a Battlestar Galactica ship sound effect for her blaster? You're fired. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how they're going to patch the game. It's not going anywhere. It's Ubisoft. They'll, sink some more money into it until it's, just forgotten, I guess. So moving on from that. Otherwise, I played Space Marine 2. I played Space Marine 2 with Liam, and then I played Space Marine 2 with David and his wife, and I had a blast. Liam, I got the impression that is this game for you? Is it fun?
Yeah, I just haven't had much chance to play because everyone else was sort of playing in different games as well. So I've been trying to jump around games. But the first time I played it was quite fun. I did my mission when you were doing the tutorial part. Mm-hmm. So I wish it was like stuck on the main menu, the actual menu system of it. Like you have to boot up the game, go into your game, and then you can go to another screen, find multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just have multiplayer on the main menu? Or campaign on the main menu and just go.
Yeah, that was confusing. Yeah, because it doesn't even show you that in the game until you complete that first mission, and then it opens it up, but it doesn't tell you that.
No. So there's a lot of things it doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
I need to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play it later on as well. Do the campaign. I did like the campaign. The operation.
It gets better.
We couldn't really do that, but
Yeah, we didn't have much luck with it
It's
either.
yeah, so it's I don't know if you like get better, not better weapons, but if you
How
just
far
get
did you guys
better.
get?
We did the operation and just
We
Oh,
did
you did an
the
operation.
first two missions, and then it tells you to do an operation, and then we did that,
yeah,
and that was
and then we just couldn't
failed miserably.
finish the operation off.
Yeah.
It was on stupid antennas that we had to defend every time. We just
Yeah.
there's
Well,
so much.
David's
There's
got
so
a fix
lit.
for that.
Yeah, there's so little ammo in the game that it really wants you to go melee on it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different than I thought Gears, because Gears you just destroy everything with your bullets, but this one does want you to go melee. So
Yeah.
that's it different for me because I'm normally just shooting everything,
Hmm.
and I'm not great at parrying either. So I have learned how to do that properly. But you are surprisingly nimble in that
Yeah.
big ass suit.
Yeah, you don't look like it, but you're rolling and dodging and jumping and yeah.
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 What class
Never
did
play
you?
more.
What class did you play when you did the operations?
I
Do you remember?
think I was heavy at first.
Yeah, because you
Oh,
had
okay.
the bubble shield, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that comes
Yeah,
in
that's
I
handy.
have to see the other classes as well.
Yeah, when Scott jumped off last night, because his eyeballs were about to explode from playing for so many hours. um, I played one more game with my wife Gina, and I actually picked the sniper class because I was using the sniper gun throughout the campaign with Scott, and I was like, oh, let me try the sniper class, and I think I just found my class because
Sweet.
his special is he goes invisible. So
Ooh.
so there were moments, actually the very last like 5 minutes of that operation, if we all would have died, we would have lost. And everybody was down, and I was like, all right, invisible, and I went invisible and I rezzed everyone in 1 second. And
Oh, sweet.
Gina was like, get the fuck out of here. She's like, you specialist, you go invisible. I'm like, hell yeah, motherfucker, let's go. So like it was a lot of that. It was a lot of like, yeah, we're gonna do this, fuck yeah. So
Yeah. Well, that
you
is the
know,
theme of the game, really.
It
It's
is,
like
yeah.
everyone growing
Brothers
up
in
together.
arms, yeah.
yeah. So but yeah, no, I'm fucking loving the game. There's you once you clear that hump of um like, oh, why is it like this? Oh, why is that? Why is this? This sucks.
Yeah.
Once you clear that hump, you're like, wait a minute, this is actually really cool. You know what I mean? Because I died a bunch of times on the training, and I wasn't. I'm still kind of like I'm okay with the parrying. There are moments when I like nail it, and it's such an exhilarating feeling.
Yeah,
Especially when,
when you nail it, it looks
yeah.
so
Oh
good. It
man.
looks so good for it.
But there's also times when like I nail it and I'm not even looking. I just hear that sound, and I'm like, okay, somebody's about to hit me, and I just click the parry button, and then automatically my character just turns around and grabs the enemy that was gonna
Hmm.
hit, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, yeah, I'm the man, yeah. Like you definitely have those moments, but there's definitely a skill gap to the game, and I like that. I as much as it's frustrating for the game to actually be kind of difficult, I actually like that because it gives me something else to work on rather than just, oh, this game is easy, I'm just gonna grind this level for like 10 times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like there's a legitimate like, okay, what am I doing wrong here? You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
um yeah, but we played that one mission, the operations missions, after Scott left, and then um, we actually won, and then we went to
What?
bed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we won that operations mission actually. So now my sniper's at level 2. So I'm pretty pumped about it.
Well, I guess we
Yeah.
know
Oh
who is
yeah,
the weakest link.
that's
Well,
the thing we got to do as well. Like maybe
no,
upgrade your weapon. I know you upgrade your weapons. You can get like better rarity in your weapons, and you'll probably get better
yeah.
stats and things like that.
Well, so
What?
somebody
So
joined us randomly, actually. So we when you quit, we had a bot, and he was the heavy, and that's when I saw, like you said, the shield,
Yeah.
and the guy was just had a shield and he was shooting. He was just a bot, but I was like, oh man, the heavy guy is actually pretty cool. Look, Gina, he's got a shield. And then some random joined us, and I can't remember. I think he was like like one of the soldiers or something like that.
A
But he
tactical.
was doing
Right.
pretty good. Yeah. He was doing pretty good. He kept. I saw when shit hit the fan, he was sort of like doing a lot of dodging, like getting out of the way, get out of the way, get out. Like just when things get heavy, just and you're surrounded, like get out of there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I noticed he was doing that a lot, and he was definitely sort of carrying us a little bit, but yeah, no, it's cool, man, and I'm getting into the story. You know, when I like a game, I start to get into story. Um, and my wife just is not into stories at all. She just skipped the whole training.
Yeah,
She came in and she's like, "How do I do
I
this?"
skipped the whole thing at first. Yeah, so
Yeah, that was you know what? It was funny, but it was also like I didn't I had this moment of like I should have expected that. Like we're me and Scott are like fighting the first boss fight, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Hey, Gina's in here. My wife's in here. What the hell?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm here." I'm like, "You finished the training?" She's like, "Nah, I just skipped that shit." And I'm like, "What the?"
It's just like, yeah, went right into a boss fight.
And then she's like, "How do you reload?" We're like, "Fuck."
Yeah, the worst time ever that
I
you
will
could
say
come
as
in.
well.
But
Yeah,
she did good
I will
though.
say too, like the graphics of the game look absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
Oh man,
Yes.
It's definitely a nice looking game. I swear the shit that we blew up is a Reaper.
yeah, no, right? Looking up in the
Looks very
clouds and
Mass
the
Effect.
ship, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like Gears on steroids plus Mass Effect plus I don't know, maybe Arkham. We are parrying, so there's a lot of different.
Yeah, I was
timing that you
going to
do.
mention that too. The fighting of it when I did the training, it reminded me of that. And then later when I switched to a controller, the melee to me is a lot easier using the controller because I can flip back and forth a little bit easier. And it just, I guess my muscle memory from playing a lot of Arkham City, you kind of get that rhythm down. But it doesn't really tell you that or show you that in the training. It just kind of lets you figure it out, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because when you see somebody play it, you're like, oh, you just hit A like 5 million times. No, not at all. You have to know what you're doing, or you're just going to get crushed.
Yeah,
And that's
there was a move with the sword. I was just spamming, the melee with this, and then I realized, if I hit, my right mouse key once, and then hold it, and then hold it, and then hold it, and hold it, I can do this chain of like heavy attacks. And
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell have I been doing this whole time? I've just been spamming this button, and there's like a whole like combo system I could be
Oh
doing.
yeah, there's combos as well. Yeah.
yeah. If you
so-
go into the menu with that weapon, it shows you the combos.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so there's like I said, it's really cool that they have this sort of like it's not just some button mash game. It's
No.
Yeah.
more than that, So that was
I think-
refreshing.
I think my favorite one was like you parry and then you can shoot once you've
Yeah.
parried.
Yeah.
So it goes to like sort of slow mo, and you have to take the shot, and the head blows off.
Yep.
So like, oh, yeah, I'm so good at this.
That was actually something that Gina mentioned when she started playing. She goes, I love how the melee to switching to gun is like seamless. Like it's very quick. And you can hit, swing, and then bring out your gun, shoot, then go back to swinging. It was like really quick. So that's her review. 5 stars.
She's got a good point. It's if it wasn't that fluid, I don't think the game would be near as fun. Because you're having to, just like Liam said, there's not a lot of ammo. I mean, there's ammo, but you can run out of ammo. But I never felt like if I ran out of ammo that I was screwed. I'd always get like, okay, I got one clip left. I'm saving it. I'm just going full melee and just running through these guys. So the pacing and the resources are probably intentional, so that it wants you to use those combinations. It wants you to use those melee weapons, there's 4 of them. So yeah, man, this game is just it's way deeper and better than I thought it would be. After coming off the first one, the first one's good, and the first one's it's a lot like this one, but I got really invested in the story because it's very easy. It's kind of, they're doing the same thing that games used to do. Games used to have cutscenes, but they were only like 30 seconds long, and it gave you everything you need to know and nothing you didn't. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like you in a couple of words and a couple of sentences and what a character does at the very first of the game, you get a sense of what that character is all about. You know, you got 3 characters in the first one of them the main character, who is he's basically Master Chief. Let's get the job done no matter what. We're going to do it. You know, he's like the coach. You know, you can do this. You got the grizzled older dude that's seen everything. That's like, yeah, this ain't shit. And then you got the younger one that's like idealistic and you know, all about the emperor and going by the rules and all that shit. And you figure that out in like the first 5 minutes of the game. And then those characters play out through the game. And they did the same thing here. I was really surprised how well or how invested I am in these characters in this game that's really just about, you know, hacking and slashing and shooting. But each character, you get a little background about where they're from. And then, of course, the main character alludes to the first game, which after playing the first game, I don't know how much anybody's really taking from, you know, anything the main character says about the first game. But I'm hoping by the end it will kind of all play in together. But yeah, the way these guys communicate and get along and don't get along, and it's well written, man. And it just shows you that you don't need to have these, you know, huge elaborate cutscenes with super expensive actors to get a story in a video game and make characters that you care about. I mean, there was a couple of things in it that was like, man, this is the way I felt watching Band of Brothers. You know, because it is very similar. You're in war. It does not let you forget that you are in constant war. When you walk outside, there's explosions, there's guns going off, there's guys fighting on the ground, there's guys stuff blowing up, there's stuff collapsing. I mean, it is you know, you're walking in a war movie. And man, they did such a fantastic job.
That is something that was really good as well. Yeah, the way the atmosphere plays out.
Yeah.
Because normally in other games you have your little battle, but you're just, you know, in your closed space. Here, it's like everywhere you look is on fire. It's blowing up. It's war everywhere. You can see the enemies. Well, actually, the fact that it runs well is actually really impressive.
It is very impressive. I mean, when you know, playing that first tutorial, you know, a lot of it's inside, and I'm going to walk outside. I'm like, oh shit, here's where my frame rates just fly away. And I walk outside, no difference at all. I mean, it runs so well. It's one of the first games I think I've played in a long time where it's like preset. It detects your hardware and it just sets your presets or whatever. I went in and I just left it at presets. I don't think I've changed anything. It runs great. It looks great. I'm hitting around 60 to 80 frames per second on my 3060 Ti. Man, it's just, I mean, yeah. Why are not all games doing this? Why do we need every game to use Unreal Engine 5 and get horrible frame rates and horrible optimization
what is this
for
engine
PC?
anyway?
I think it's their own. It's probably a derivative of their World War Z engine, because that can produce a lot of enemies on screen.
Yeah, because that was the other thing that it was very much like as World War Z. With
There's a lot of enemies on screen, right? And in their little dev thing, they talked about that the way they can do that is because each individual character does not have AI. The group of them have their own AI, so it's like a flock AI. Like this group over here is all the same AI. They have the same objective: kill you. This one has the same objective: take out that whatever generator or whatever. So it allows them to, you know, have a little more headroom for more enemies and more graphics and stuff like that. And
but that's a good idea though to do, because it actually makes it terrifying. It's a huge group of enemies.
Exactly. And it's not like, I mean, it's Warhammer, so the enemies are kind of made to just flood you. They're not like you're not fighting like individual soldiers to some extent, like you would in like Call of Duty or something. You're just fighting off like hordes of heretics or aliens or mutants or whatever, much like Dark Tide. You know, they do the same thing there. It's doing a little research for this game as far as like story and everything. I'm becoming a Warhammer fan. This franchise and this world that they've created is vast, and everything is just so overdone. Like everything is so big and meaty, and everyone you meet in the game is just like, you know, I'll take a bullet to the head if it helps us win. You know what I mean? It's just like everybody's just so there's nobody bitching about anything. There's nobody complaining about, oh my God, my life sucks. No, it's like we're fighting for survival. And in Warhammer, if you don't know, there was a time in humans were flourishing and doing really well, and then the aliens came in, and then the orcs came in, and we started losing planets and losing people, and we kind of started getting pushed out of the galaxy. Well, then we started fighting back, and by fighting back, we have to go and find these artifacts that we used to have when our technology was at its best. So we try to take back these planets and take back our technology and things like that. So you've got generation after generation, a generation of people that just fight. They're just at war. They're bred to it. And it shows in this game. Like everybody is just like, you know, this is the direction we're going in. But there's also a little spite, little, heresy, I guess you could say, which sauces it up a little bit. And and playing it last night, Dave and I both were like, this needs to be a TV show. This could totally be like a HBO Game of Thrones. Like it's got the characters, it's got the political intrigue, the war, oh man. I mean I know Henry Cavill was talking to Amazon, but I think that tanked.
I didn't think that.
Yeah, I think they canceled it because he said in an interview that he would only do it if they respected the core content, what Warhammer is and all that. And much like Witcher 3, that's why he left Witcher 3, because the showrunners were like, we don't really like these books. They're misogynistic and stupid, and we're going to change all that. And he said, if you don't, it's literature. If you're not going to go with it, then I'm out. So same thing there. I think that they wanted to do this and they wanted to do that. And he's like, well, no, that's not even, if you do that, it's not Warhammer anymore. So why do it?
Yeah. Well, he's 100% a gamer. Like he said in plenty
he is.
Yeah, he's into World of Warcraft and all that. So like, yeah, I mean, it's great to have somebody in that industry sort of sticking up for the source material because
exactly.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we're not sitting here interjecting, our political views and our, what we think about the world. We're just sitting here like, what is this game? We just want to play it. We want to enjoy it. We want to be immersed in this world, whatever it is, and if it's fun, it's fun, So it's like, it's cool that he's able to do that.
Right. And I think and again, from looking at a business standpoint, there are, how many Warhammer fans are there out there? This has been around for, almost 50 years. So you've got a lot of fans. So again, just like Star Wars, you have the fans. You don't have to buy them. You don't have to market toward them. If you just make it good, it's there. And I always use the Halo TV show as the example of how to not do that. You have a very large, $1 billion game franchise. You've got the fans. You've got the people that will watch the show. But for you to turn around and not respect the source material by not playing the game, not reading the books, not, telling everybody not to do anything and making it your own, quotation marks, what happened? Yeah, you blew a lot of money and you got canceled. Why is this repeated? Why does this keep happening? Why is this?
Yeah.
Why is Ubisoft scratching their head going, we put Star Wars on the front of the box. Why is nobody buying it?
Yeah.
I
Because
just
gamers are a little smarter than
Yeah.
they perceive them to be.
Well-
Yeah, probably.
Saber Interactive, I think, gets it. I mean,
Yeah.
this game, it's fun. It's enough to it's like it's easy to play, hard to master. You know, it gives you something to get better at and get good at. I watched a video of this guy playing PvP, and he was using the jetpack and the hammer and crushing everyone.
Yeah,
Like-
I've heard that's it's very marketed towards melee.
Yeah.
Like the game, like the PvP is marketed towards melee, like very little gunplay going on. So like a lot of people are trying to figure out like what's the best.
Right.
And the guy with the hammer, is clearly the best.
Yeah. Well, not just that. I mean, he had this like motion down where he slammed down, bumped, like shoulder charge, and then jump up again, and then and it's mechanics like that allow you to connect with that character that you're making and upgrading and getting better at it. And we were talking about that last night, playing that operation. It's like I feel like I can get better at this if I keep doing it and upgrade this one character. Like if I get a character I like and start putting, and I love that. And that again, this game is way deeper than it looks. And I think that a lot of reviewers, like looking at you, PC Gamer, who gave it a 6, said it was lacking in content. Yeah, they gave it a 6.
PC Gamer are awful.
They're
for like
terrible.
Journalism right now. Yeah,
No, they're not journalists.
Terrible.
They're activists. But yeah, I think it's again. There's a lot of times when I see these journalists, it's like you are totally missing the point of this game. When they say, like, who is this for?
Yeah.
This is for us. This is for like 99% of the people that play games. This is what we like. They're fun games. We want to feel like a badass. I mean, did Gina play last night? Did she have any problem playing a dude? Like,
No,
who gives a shit? Right?
Listen, she used to play Gears with me all the time. So
yeah, my wife did too.
She loved Gears to the point where like I wanted to play Minecraft or something, and she's like, I want to fucking play Gears. And I'm like,
sit down.
Who did I marry?
Right.
Where do you find that kind of woman? I want to know.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're hard to find.
They're a rare gem.
I know. Maybe it's Gears of War. My wife was the same way. She was playing like Nancy Drew stuff, and I was playing Gears of War.
Yeah.
And of course, it was the time when I like ran around a car and like was chainsaw like. Ring, 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 ring. She's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Sit down. Here's a controller."
Well, I think you know what, like I think that like the ultimate thing is basically like all these publishers and developers. Sometimes they want to create a game that's like for everybody, and it's like you don't have to do that.
No,
No.
that's where they're making a mistake, right?
Yeah, there's space and room for a game like this to exist and still be popular. It doesn't have to be for every single little 9-year-old girl that likes to play with Barbies. Oh, I want to play Space Marines. Like it doesn't have to be for every single person,
Right.
It can be for, and it's like that in music, I always bring up music, but in heavy metal, like there's niche genres, and sometimes they end up being really wildly popular,
Yeah.
but does everybody listen to them? No, not everybody
No.
listens to not every single person, but in a world of, billions of people,
Yeah, I think that's where they make the mistake of trying to go for the largest group as possible. I mean, they want to sell more games as possible. I get that.
Yeah,
And again, using Star Wars Outlaws as an example. I mean, you put Star Wars on it, you put a female character on it, break her nose, and make her gay, and then you think it's like, well, that's what everybody wants, and that's what everybody can relate to, and you put a character, you make sure that everybody can feel included in that game, and that's where I think some of that, kind of falls off, is because you do have a small group of people, and I say small because they're all on Twitter, and if you're yelling on Twitter, I'm pretty sure that there's not a large group of people that waste their time, just complaining on Twitter, but they talk about inclusion in games. Like, I want to be represented. Like, there's people talking about Space Marine 2. Why can't I play a female character? Why is one of these characters not non-binary? Why is one of these Marines, not gay? Well, for one, it is totally irrelevant to the story. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
I
would agree with that.
And second of all, not everybody that plays video games has to be included. They don't have to feel like they're included in that story to get enjoy. It's called imagination. You're using imagination when you play these games. I've never felt like there was a game that was like, and of course I know how this sounds being a white male, but I've never played a game and felt like, well, I can't play this because the main character is not a white male. Like, I don't ever remember even thinking that,
Right.
Because it's just, why is the character interesting?
Yeah.
And then is the game fun?
That never bothered us before.
No, it didn't,
Like
because there was nobody
games.
complaining about it. There was nobody on Twitter going, my whole identity is my sexual preference, and without it, I'm nothing. So I need to be included in this game. And and what's funny to me though is that, again, you have to look at this as your wallet and what you pay money on. Ubisoft, Microsoft, Sony, all these people. There are people there at those companies that do care about that, I honestly think. But as a whole, as a company, they give zero fucks about what gender you are. They do not care. What they do care about is your money. And if they think that if they include everyone, then everyone will play. The problem is that those people it's just such a small group of people that are like that. That's not going to fund your Star Wars Outlaws game. It's just not. And I'm sorry. If you don't feel included in video games, then maybe go find a new hobby. Because if they keep doing this, there's not going to be any video games. Ubisoft's going to go, we're going to make toasters because it's way more profitable. So, it's from a business standpoint, you need to stop doing this. Saber Interactive obviously gets it. They are respecting the source material. At least I think so. I don't know enough about Warhammer. I think they are. It seems like
No, but
they are.
I mean, they have the game, they have their lore. It doesn't. It's not a checklist. It's just, here's the war. Here's your soldier. Go kill things.
Yeah,
and that's all we want to do.
Yeah, and if you don't want the story, just skip it, like Gina. It's just click, click, click.
Right.
Yeah, because it's also a fun game, and it's amazing to look at, and so I think they're getting it. Microsoft had a whole group of people that were dedicated to DEI in their gaming and their business, and they really recently got rid of that department. I think because, again, it's not because they don't care about you. They didn't to begin with. It's because they're losing money,
Yeah.
And when they're losing money, and Ubisoft, maybe with Star Wars Outlaws, maybe they'll learn too. It's like, well, maybe we should just go back to making games. Stop trying to make a political statement, and virtue signaling, and just go back to making good games. Because they have made a good game here and there, It's not lately. So, and it just takes a game like Space Marine 2 to kind of point that out again. Hey, remember when games were badass and fun?
Yeah.
Well, here you go. All right. Yeah. So, I hope to complete the campaign today, I think, if anybody wants to join me. And hopefully finish one operation without dying. That would be great.
Yeah.
But let's move on to some news, or else we'll probably won't get to it. I could talk about Space Marines 2 all day. What about that bell falling? Man, when you walk around the corner and that giant bell falls, and that giant gear like pops. Oh man, it's just amazing. Anyway, I talk so much about graphics aren't important, but sometimes it's not important. But it's nice.
Were you there? I don't know if you were there or not when Gina picked up the Melta gun. I think you had left. I think I think you left. She picked up the melta gun. She was like, "What the fuck is this gun?" I'm like, "What is it?" And she shot it. And I'm like, "Oh, that's the melta." She's like, "This gun is fucking awesome." She's
I
like,
know.
I'm like, it's like a flamethrower, but it's a shotgun at the
Right.
same time. She's like, this shit, why wasn't I using this? She's like, this is incredible. Like,
I know.
it's like that excitement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like I play this game and I'm like, Gina's gonna love this game, and then she plays it and you hear that, like she loves it, and I'm like, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you're getting
yes.
it. You're getting it. I know. I wish
Yeah,
my wife would get this game. I really think she'd like it if she played it. But
yeah.
but yeah, and every gun in the game, I don't feel like I get a gun that's like, oh, I didn't really want this gun. Like all of them are
Yeah.
useful. All of them will do damage. There's not one that's like, oh, this is weak. And I was telling David, I watched a video of it. The guns that you have in the game, get this shit. They're made for the Ultramarines. So if a regular person were to pick up that, like that Melta rifle, for instance, and fire it, it would probably break their collarbone,
Yeah.
and their wrist at the same. I mean, it can't be shot by like a normal person. That's how badass
I
these
mean,
things are.
it's really cool too. Like when they put it to scale, like of like how big you are in comparison to the humans, like
Yeah.
regular humans.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah,
just,
because you're massive. Yeah.
yeah,
Clean
you're
my belt
walking-
buckle. Yeah.
Yeah, you're walking. They're fucking kneeling, like, sir,
Yeah.
they kneel.
Well, if you
And-
hear they say the angels have arrived. Like they look at the Ultramarines
Yeah.
as like saviors, as like people like, oh,
Right.
they're here and and when they do that and you're like, oh, we're getting attacked, and you jump in and like kill like 50 of them at one time, then you're like, yeah, I guess I am.
And you know what? Like I'm like so into, like, when you really get into the game, like I apologize now, Liam, but like I start talking like Jason Statham, like all of a sudden I'm like the Ultramarines.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
Here's a bolter for you, bastard. Yeah.
For the Imperial, you bastards.
Oh,
I
the game
love,
is so
I mean,
good.
I love it. The whole atmosphere is like really gets you into it. So
Yeah.
what's the news though?
All right, let's get past it. It's just a couple of quick things, maybe some rumors, but we do know that Concord has shut down. Okay, so I think it was online for 11 days. Sony shut this game down. Firewalk Studios came out and made went on Twitter and gave their thing about giving everybody a refund and all this. So, do you guys think this was the right decision for Sony to just completely shut it down? And do we think this game is going to come back?
I think it was the right decision. I don't think it'll come back.
David, what do you think?
I personally think that I don't think it was the right decision to just like kill the game. But I do think that they've been getting so much negative publicity around the game, like it's a complete failure, blah blah blah. Like if you just type Concord into YouTube, there's a million streamers talking no shit about the game. So I think that they were getting so much negative press, they just said to themselves, you know what, and the fact that it did so poorly and everybody was pointing it out constantly, they were like, we just gotta wipe this. We have to wipe this from the records. They had to get rid of it. So personally, I don't think they should have got rid of it because, I mean, it's a game. You know what I mean? Like how many terrible games are out there in the world? If there's like 20 people that play this one game, like let them play the game. And now, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and now you have people like trying to sell their box. The
on
actual
eBay.
game, like on eBay for like $100 because like now it's a collector's item. Like all of a sudden, the game that everybody was shitting on is now a collector's item. Like go figure.
A collector's item for what though? Because the game's offline.
Right.
Just like
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, that always brings up my point of view. It's like, hey, you got that physical copy of that game. You still don't own your game, brah. You went to a store and bought it, and you brought it home, and what happened? You can't play it because you don't own it. You don't own your games.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's digital or physical. I wish people would get that through their head. Yeah, I agree. But, keeping this thing up and keeping it running with, I don't know what the numbers were on PlayStation. We probably will never know what the actual, player count was at that time. But on Steam, I know it was like in the double digits. Like, think about that for a second. You spend $200 million on a game, a studio of like 200 people. 50 people are playing your game. Or like you said, 20 people are playing your game. That does not, you're not paying for the break room at that point. Like, you're not, I'm serious. I mean, you're not like stocking donuts and water in the fridge with that money. That goes way beyond not sustainable. That is what is called a financial failure.
Hence the shutdown and why it was so quick. Because basically you have Sony who are hosting these servers that 10 people are on.
Yeah.
It's like, we could wait to see if anything happens.
Yeah,
or we could just save our money right now.
And for them to give a refund is huge. I mean, huge. They don't give a refund for shit.
Because they don't normally know. So that's where you know it's bad. Right.
It's, yeah. I mean, I played this game. I did not find anything entertaining or fun about it whatsoever. If like from years from now, I probably will have forgotten the name, so I'll just call it beige, because everything in the game was beige. The whole aspect, it was just bland and just, I don't know, even just like the color palette was just like beige and plain and just subdued. It was almost like if you were schizophrenic and you were in a hospital getting treatment for that, they would be like, "Oh, play Concord. This is soothing." It's just nothing hit with that game. I mean, nothing hit.
No.
Nothing. Nobody said, "Well, the characters are great," or "Oh, the guns are great," or "The abilities are great." No, just nothing hit. But here's the thing, though. This is how my mind works. Okay, so we know that Bungie went in and looked at this game, right, and said it was good. They also looked at the multiplayer Spider-Man game and the multiplayer Last of Us game. So here's Bungie, right? This is what I'm thinking. I'm Bungie. I'm going in. Oh, okay, Bungie, we want you to look at this Spider-Man game. It's a multiplayer game where you and your friends can play different Spider-Mans from different multiverses and do cool shit. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Holy shit, that sounds amazing. This looks amazing. This is fun as shit. This is going to compete with Marathon. This is what I say. That game has no way of making any money whatsoever. Oh, okay. We'll cancel it. Okay. What we got next? Oh, here's The Last of Us, but it's a big open world and stories play out and you play with your friends and it's PvE and PvP and here's what I'm thinking. Holy shit, that is amazing. It's third person. It's you can extract stuff. It's holy shit, that's badass. That is a competitor to Marathon. Here's what I say. That game has no way of making any money whatsoever. Let's go look at Concord. I look at Concord. That is the worst fucking thing I've seen in my life. That game is amazing. Release it now. That is totally not going to compete with Marathon whatsoever. I love it. Put it out. Put all your money in that shit. That's Bungie. That's what Bungie does. If you ask Bungie to do that and you just ask them to look at the competition of their own fucking game and they go in and go, yeah, that's not going to work. And you took that as, holy shit, we're going to take 4 years of Naughty Dog's game and just tank it. You are stupid. You are fucking, what are you doing in the gaming industry? Like, what is going through your head? Mm-hmm. Sony has lost their shit, man. And when Redfall was released from an acclaimed studio and everybody shit on it and the studio closed and everybody's like, eh. Concord comes out, on Sony's platform, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, what? Are you okay? Is everybody okay over there? Like, what's going on? Oh, you're good? Okay. This is bad. Sony is not re-releasing this game. More
I
likely,
don't
Firewalk
think
is
so.
going to be either a support studio or just dissolved altogether, and they'll get them jobs in some random places within Sony if they choose to. This game is dead. It's not coming back. This is tax write off the game. So
Claim a loss.
yeah, I just
I
wish.
even saw like the developers that were arguing on Twitter. It's like this whole
Yeah.
thing is just a PR nightmare as well
Oh,
as
it's
just a
yeah, and they're
bad
calling
game.
gamers bigots and this and that, and they're saying it's this is the narrative now. When they put something out and they put political agenda in it, and it doesn't do well, well then they go back and they say that it didn't do well because
Because
of
we're bigots.
bigots of people
Yeah.
online that when in actuality there's only like a small group of people that do that because they're just shitheads. The rest of the people didn't buy your game or watch your TV show because it's garbage. It's just not
Yeah.
good. Like what?
And also there's this sort of it's funny because this happened with the Sony game and not with many others, but the narrative, oh, we shouldn't be mean to developers or the media or TV shows, films, whatever, because they're people too. And yeah, I get it that they're people who worked, but you still made garbage.
Yeah, I mean
Sorry,
it's
dude.
not being mean by saying I don't want to give you my money for that. I don't think that looks good.
Yeah,
That's not being mean. I mean, there's people that say that differently and are mean, but
I mean, you,
again,
you can say that a lot worse. Yeah,
right?
and but all the media is like, I forgot what the headlines were, but it's like all PC Gamer and IGN, but they were sort of
Oh
defending it
yeah, they
that
were
we
defending
shouldn't
them.
we
Whereas Arcane,
we shouldn't
they
be
didn't say shit
we
about
shouldn't be
Arcane
mean
when
to
Redfall came
developers.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but every game that Xbox puts out, it gets shit on.
yeah. Whether it's
Every
good
time
or
Xbox
not,
makes a move, it gets shit on.
Sony
Doesn't
puts
matter
out
what they do.
garbage, and it's like, what's wrong with the AAA gaming community, and what's wrong with gamers,
Yeah, we have to rally around them, in this
yeah.
difficult time.
And here's Sean Murray going, "Hey, that picture looks really cool. Let's put that in the game." Like,
Yeah,
what are you guys doing? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why did nobody
yeah,
at Sony or anybody for that matter, the dude that cleans
yeah,
the floors at Firewalk Studio, look at that and go, "That is shit. That is garbage. What are you? That's not a
yeah,
game, right?
yeah.
You're not releasing that, right?
Uh,
Like,
and it's just
what?
this.
Why?
Yeah, there's. I don't know. It was doomed from the start,
It was
and
doomed from the
I know,
start. Yeah.
and everybody saw that except Sony.
Yep.
I don't know how they could be more out of
Well,
touch.
I think that their change of leadership was a little too late as far as, this is one of their grabs that's like, hey, let's buy Firewalk Studios. They've got a live service game coming out, and that will add to our live service library that we don't have. And
Yeah,
and then that's all they saw. That's what they just said, this looks fine. This looks just like every other game. That should do well. But,
yeah,
you
true.
know, I don't know.
I know because when they revealed that trailer for Concord, everyone was kind of on board with it, and I knew I felt it for everyone. They showed the trailer. They, that Guardian sort of galaxy type feel to it.
Yeah.
They're just sort of entering in the bar there, and then this is cool. As soon as they switched to gameplay, it went hero shooter and it lost everyone. It literally
Yep.
lost everyone that
Everyone.
minute.
And we're talking about PlayStation fans. They
Yeah,
were mad
even the
about this
PlayStation
game.
fans.
Like
Yeah, they
it
like,
looked like we were getting another like single player or multiplayer, focused story game with all these characters. And no. I don't get it. Like developers, producers, publishers and the media are all scratching their head at this thing, and the people and everybody in the gaming, community is all going, stop giving us this. Stop giving us this crap. Like we're not bigots. We're not, phobes. We just this game is garbage. I don't care who's in it. It's garbage. The YouTubers will pick up on whatever they can to get, hits. They'll pick up on whatever their channel is about to get hits on and tear it apart. I get that. Everybody's got to get their cut, you know. But objectively, I played this game. It's garbage. It's crap. It's not fun. It's stupid. It's not doing anything different. I don't care about the characters. I don't care about whatever. It's not fun. Same thing with Star Wars Outlaws. I played it. It's not fun. It's just get your money back and put it towards Space Marine 2. You'll be super happy. So let's move on to this quick one, and we'll probably get out of here. Unless I think Liam's got a rumor. But this one real quick, I have a theory about this. Another tinfoil hat theory. Black Myth Wukong is not on Xbox yet, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody knows why. So Game Science, the developers of Black Myth Wukong, have come out and said that it's because of the limitations of the hardware we're still optimizing. Microsoft has come out and said that's not it at all. It has nothing to do with the hardware, but we can't speak on deals made with game developers or other publishers, whatever. So they're saying it's because of the hardware. Microsoft's saying it's not. Why is this? I think it's because of the Chinese government. The Chinese government has to have its hand in every deal that goes to America like this. They have very strict rules on stuff like this, and I think that the government has a deal with Sony, and they have a deal with Microsoft, and the Microsoft deal is not what they wanted, or it's probably they're using it for something else to manage another deal with Microsoft. Because the Chinese government can go in and go, don't release that on Microsoft. Why? It's nothing to do with you. Just don't release it. And then they go to Microsoft and they go, we need to rework this deal you got on these microprocessors that go in your Surface. You know, I'm serious. I think that could actually happen. I think that there's something going on with that, and it has nothing to do with the game, has nothing to do itself, or the developer in general. It's just
an interesting take, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just has to do with the way that the Chinese government does business, and they're probably waiting on somebody to sign some deal of some sort. You know, or Microsoft tried to bully them a little bit, and they kicked back. I don't know, but Sony and Microsoft both are very much reliant on China for their hardware. So,
right.
Maybe that's.
I mean, it doesn't sound like an out of pocket idea, to me. But what does sound out of pocket is Xbox can't handle it. Like, shut up.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't think so. I mean, I've seen this run on PCs worse than an S, and it still is playable.
Yeah, and this it's weird because it always comes back to like Xbox being the scapegoat.
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah.
We have a new Switch next year. We have handheld PCs. We have mini PCs. We have PCs lower than the S, higher than the S and the X, and you can't get it working on one bit of hardware. That's fixed.
Yeah.
No.
Nah. No. Yeah, I don't think so either. So that's just what I think. The problem is that we may never know why this is delayed. It may just pop up one day and nobody says anything.
Probably won't, and be like, oh yeah, it's available now.
Yeah. So, but that's pretty much it. It's not on Xbox yet. And I know that one of the developers kind of said something smart ass at Gamescom about why isn't this coming out on Xbox yet? And then he said something like, "Who needs Xbox?" And of course, the guy that owns Game Science came back and said, "No. He was speaking out of line. He was basically being a douchebag. Just, that's not how we think." But again, it's some of the stuff is not up to them. It's up to the Chinese government. So. But Liam, I think you have a rumor that will affect everyone on the planet. If I'm not mistaken.
What's your tinfoil hat idea, Liam?
What was it? I forgot.
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, no.
GTA 6.
What about GTA 6? Honestly, I forgot what I was saying.
GTA 6 is rumored to be delayed until spring of 2026.
Oh yeah. Did I say that before?
Yeah.
I mentioned that.
You been drinking?
I don't know if because I saw that recently. I thought, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, at first it came out. It's like, oh, well, this is what's happening, and then I think later everybody's like, no, this is just a rumor. Nobody's confirmed it yet. But I don't think anybody's really surprised, are they? I mean,
no. I mean,
they
if it's
always
delayed, what's the surprise anyway? You know?
no. No, I know a lot of people are probably probably a lot of publishers that are hoping it's true because that holiday 2025 was looking tight, and
Yeah, they're like, oh, we've got another year.
Nobody wanted to release around that thing, like not even close.
No.
So spring would be better for everybody.
I mean, it comes with a lot of different rumors. If it is delayed, which probably is. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But there is a lot of talk around it because rumor is next Xbox 2020.
Really? That
yeah.
soon? 2026.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just a very subjective rumor as well.
Yeah.
So we have no idea. This might not happen at all.
Yeah.
If it did, though, like Xbox will be the console to play it on.
Yeah, you might actually get 60 FPS. Well, yeah, this is really not a bad thing. I think releasing that in a holiday season is just not good for anybody. I think it just creates a crater, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't care. I'm not buying it. I'm not a GTA fan, but I didn't want to see anything
GTA fan.
Well, yeah, but you think about it, like everything you're looking forward to at the end of 2025. If they nail down a date, well, guess what? Everything's going to get pushed into February. So anything that if you're not looking forward to GTA 6 and you're looking forward to say Fable or I don't know, just anything that's supposedly coming out in that time, it's going to get pushed. So that way, going in, if that goes into 2026, then that leaves room for everything else to get released at that time. I don't know. I'm just I think with my wallet. I think with like how does this when I see things like this, how does this affect me? I don't care about Xbox. I don't care about Sony. They're rich. I don't give a fuck about them. Mm-hmm. It's all about me. How does this affect me? So
and the games you want, anyways.
Right? And then I'm okay with how it affects me. Then I look at how does it affect the industry. But you got to think of yourself first, people. Think with your wallet. Don't be a fanboy. So yeah, I think this is probably going to end up being true. Probably more of marketing than anything else. We do know that Sony got the the marketing exclusivity with that.
Rights to it.
I don't understand that, man. Microsoft has more money than anybody. Why do they not?
Yeah.
Why do they not do that? That
could be a home run right there, just to have.
Yeah, they just might as well. They might as well just go to Sony, knock on the door, go, here's some money. Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, they just hand them shit. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, I think that's all the rumors now.
Because I did say like another rumor, but I think that's kind of away now. I was going there might be Switch talk soon, and it turned out it might just be another OLED bundle.
Yeah, you got excited there for a second, didn't you? Nope.
Yeah,
you're not gonna hear shit this year. I'm sorry, it ain't gonna happen. It's like you won't hear anything about that till next year.
God damn it, Nintendo! When are we expecting the Switch to?
Next year.
Question.
Yeah, they'll probably announce.
Next year, but in spring or holiday?
I think it'll be probably in March. They'll announce something in March, and I think they should go for a summer release. Personally, like June, into May, June, right when school lets out. Man, money. Yeah,
that would be actually good.
But I won't be getting one. All right, okay. I think that's it. I think we're out of here. I'm going to put this show together and then play some Space Marines and not do any of the things I was supposed to do today other than that. So,
Yeah, I'm on the same tip here. Got to try to convince the wife.
Yeah.
I can't go anywhere, honey. I have to stay home.
Did you see on Twitter? They released Focus Entertainment released a doctor's note.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for Space Marines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's good marketing right there.
it is.
Yeah, that's how you do good marketing.
I printed it off just in case. You never know. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go play some of that. All right, we're out of here, guys. Thanks for dropping in.
All right, guys.
See you next week.
Yep. See ya.
Yeah.